And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Go for SC2 Thursdays. My name, of course, is Elmo, but I'm sure you already know that. This is Poison TV.
The infamous Elmo.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. As you can see, we already have our next game coming up. And as I said, it will be Grave versus Webby. And I think that was not clever of me to say the names, because now I'm going to introduce them once again, and spawning to the top right hand side as the Teal Protoss player playing for ESC Icy Box. It is Grave.
And spawning to the bottom left side of Yonsu, it is the Zerg player, it is Webby.
Yeah, and just some quick intel for you guys right there. If you hear some weird sounds, that's probably me smacking against the microphone, because I still have to get used to it, because I now bought myself a condenser microphone, and it's just standing right in front of me, and that's very, very unnormal for me, because first of all I can't see the keyboard, and it's like I usually throw my hands around while talking, and so I might maybe hit the microphone here and there, so please, I'm sorry for that. I'm of course trying to avoid it, but I'm just a stupid guy, and I can't help myself. I'm sorry. Very sorry.
Ah, you're not stupid. It's just occasionally. But I had a question for you. Are your settings a little bit different as well? Because the overlay for me changed, kinda.
The overlay
Maybe
changed?
it is the ESL version. Yeah, maybe it's the ESL version that makes it.
Huh?
But yeah, never mind. Never mind.
I have no idea what you're talking
actually,
about.
Yeah, my overlay changed kinda.
Oh, your in-game overlay.
User interface, my user interface. Also.
Interesting. No, I still have
Overlay.
the same one. But yeah.
Okay.
Talking about the game, PvZ.
So we do see a hatch first.
Absolutely, that is completely
from
correct.
Webby. That is a little bit greedy here, but as Grave isn't really reacting to it, he will probably just go for a Nexus first anyways.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nexus first against Hatch first. That's pretty standard, I'd say, in the modern meta game. Obviously also on Yonsu, which is not the smallest map, but also not the biggest. That's perfectly fine to do something like that. Of course, there is this kind of risk if the Zerg goes for a Hatch first, that he could be cannon rush. But seriously, who does a cannon rush? Like in the modern days, basically almost
Like a
no
lot
one.
of- Well, I wouldn't say so. We actually see, even in pro games, we see Ken rushes a lot.
From time to time.
And it is actually a good way to punish your opponent when he is actually in fact going for the hatch first. And he will even try to go for the third base, so maybe here is where Graves trying to kick in and try to prevent that third base from going down.
He's gonna go for the pylon blockage here. That is of course very, very painful for that drone. Just wanted to go ahead and say, oh, I'm gonna go build a hatch, and Probe says nope, pylon. But yeah, of course eventually a couple of Zerglings will spawn and clean up that pond. There we go, already the Zerglings coming out. The other side we have of course Grave now building the wall in, throwing down a cannon and the Cybernetics core after the Nexus did go down. So pretty standard opening. Looking at the gas timings at the moment, we have double gas. Shouldn't be a surprise for most of you guys, I'm pretty sure. So far, openings look extremely standard. Also Zerg going so far without any gases, so is mostly relying on Queen's drones and Overlords, and of course Zerglings for the first part here. But eventually, of course, he's gonna add in some gases, obviously for the leading speed and also for the lair and all those kind of fancy chaz you want to get against the Protoss player.
And Grave is also scouting now in the main base, seeing no gas has been taken here from Webby, so he's really concentrating on his drone production and getting really the economic advantage in this game here. So Grave will be answering to this with a Stargate, and probably will try to go for a more macro focused game here, and maybe even taking the third base later on.
Also with that rather quick forge, he's gonna research +1. So what we could be seeing here is maybe something like a full Phoenix play, trying to harass clear out some overlords, and then maybe with some sort of a gateway push and the +1 maybe try to breach down that third base to secure an early macro advantage, and then behind all of that throw down the third base, because that's usually a very, very strong play to kind of hurt the Zerg economically, but on the same side not really going all in or committing very, very heavily to the aggression, as you also have then your third base coming up pretty much instantaneously after you, or pretty much at the same time as you're doing those aggressions.
Very true. So actually Grave not even getting any other units here, not even a single unit, but the Phoenix is actually out on the field. So Webby on the other side to take 2 gases at the 6:30-minute mark just to be safe and to get some roaches out as soon as possible. But now he's also concentrated just on his attack, will get the layer instantly, and also getting just some spore crawlers here to deal against all these Phoenix play.
Yeah, that's usually a very, very standard response, but obviously because of the Phoenix quickness and also because of their nice amount of regenerating HP, they pretty much can dart in and out from those spore crawler range and try to pick up a couple of workers and do that kind of jazz. So pretty nice play there coming out of Grave. At the same time, he's also going to throw in a proxy palm pretty much right outside the third base of Webby here, trying to put on some pressure, obviously with that +1 and a 4, or somewhat like a 4 gate. Just gateways are right now morphing. The pylon is now able to warp in a couple of units. Of course, Webby basically has no idea, as he has no vision up to the high ground, and now he's going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't react perfectly here.
Very, very true. So this is a nice little play here we're seeing from the from Grave here. So he will be trying to go for third base. No, not that many units out, and just now 5 roaches are in production. So he definitely should be going for the aggression. Here we go, and third base on a high pressure.
Lings immediately coming off the rocks to try to help the situation, but that is 10 or 8 +1 zealots there. Of course, Lings won't do too much against that, and now he's just gonna play ring around the rosy here with the drones. A couple of roaches do spawn, so they might definitely help out here quite a lot. But the zealots, I think they are still a little bit too strong. Queen does go down, even some more zealots being warped in here. The roaches, of course, while they're on the creep, can pretty much kite those zealots, but that's gonna take a long time until they're dead. And while that is happening, we yet have another pack of zealots hacking and slicing down those drones, and Webby already taking some massive damage, whereas Grave is just getting himself so far ahead. And as I said, behind all of that we have the third base going down, so this is so far working out perfectly for the ESC player.
Absolutely good play here from Grave, and also the Phoenix still being very annoying, killing off the Queen here. Now going into the main base, maybe trying to get another Queen as well. And definitely here in favor for the Protoss player, getting the third base, no saturation at the third base here from the Zerg player instead. And yeah, he will be trying to go for a transition to Hydralisk, but it definitely takes a long time until he can actually move out to punish the third base.
Absolutely, and at the same time we already have the robotics bay going down here by Grave, so he's already pretty much one step ahead, because with that robotics bay obviously he can go for those colossi and they will just melt away those heroes. But at the same time we have Webby going for the counter aggression with some Lings and roaches here, but some nice architecture there towards the third base, of course trying to maximize the damage that that cannon can do. Also with the void ray, those roaches eventually will die off. Also the Phoenix could pick up a couple of them, yet another zealot being warped in here to block out the units, and they really cannot do too much. Of course they're getting some nice trades here, sniping very expensive units, but other than that he's not really doing massive damage. I mean, of course getting Stalker, some sentries is nice, but that's not gonna win you the game.
Great control though here from Grave, actually not losing a lot of big units here. At least the pylon being unpowered, so he cannot get the Colossi as fast as possible. But the void ray, of course, uncontested, therefore will clean this up in the end. And I mean, this is not too shabby for Webby. He has still that possibility to for the transition, going for the Hydras, going now for the muscular augments as well, and at least has some time here to prepare against all these air units.
Like, I thought this push wasn't really gonna do too much damage, but empowering the robotics facility with the Colossus in it trying to be built is actually huge for the Zerg player right now, because any minute that he can delay that Colossus tag is gonna be a good minute for him, because up until that point where the Colossus are going to start be happening, he's gonna be fine with his Hydra Roach composition. But until the pretty much from the time that the Colossus are spawning, those Hydralisks are gonna get worse and worse. So empowering the robotics facility for, let's say, about 1.5 minutes or even 2 minutes is already a nice win, and that bought himself a lot of time right there. So I wouldn't say that was the worst engagement. It actually was a pretty decent engagement right there for him.
Absolutely, and Grave, I don't feel he should be moving out here. He needs to be a little bit defensive. He needs actually to get the Thermal Lance upgrade. No, he's not yet deciding to do so. Instead, he will be going for the Templar Archive. And this is a very scary timing here for the Protoss player, as the Hydras are already approaching and might be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, also +1 for the missile attacks is about to finish, but he shouldn't engage up that ramp. Nice force fields there. Maybe could have caught up a couple of Hydralisks there, kind of blocking them out. Of course, now also the rocks are under fire. And this is actually a very bad position right now for Grave to be in if those rocks do go down. But eventually he can reposition himself. But of course, with only one Colossus and without any extended thermal lance, he's gonna have a tough time facing all the Hydralisks. But of course, we have some Phoenix in the air, and they definitely are kind of dealing with this Hydralisk like it's nothing, as Hydras obviously are light units, and Phoenix do bonus damage against light units.
With your Hydras in the air and the rocks going down here for Webby, just to prevent the Protoss army actually to approach on to the top. But Grave, he's waiting for his upgrades to finish, now getting the Thermal Lance and also getting for Dark Shrine, just to be very annoying to his opponent.
Oh, nice little cell run by towards the 4th base, drawing the army out of position, and then at the same time Grave is going to strike at the 3rd base, already taking out that Spore Crawler right there. Some nice force fields blocking out the reinforcements, and now he's just gonna go after that hatchery, trying to take it out, and of course then with the Mothership Core probably trying to go for the recall, and will take out that hatchery. Nice little win there, and there we go. There should be the recall. Well done there by the Protoss player. Will get most of his units back out of there and already hit the Zerg's economy quite drastically. Behind all of that, we see +3 now being researched. Charge, DT Shrine even coming up, so maybe we could see some DT harassment or some Archons later on. And Archons, they are pretty beastly when it comes to dealing with Zerg units.
Really good play here by Grave indeed, and here we go. A lot of getting caught up here. The force fields are just perfect. And now he just might just even fight the units straight up, but good contact here for the Zerg player. Actually might be good, doing a lot of damage, but the force is actually sorting around on these units here. The Colossi just massive amount of damage onto all of these Hydrants.
Yeah, very nicely done. But eventually it looks like Webby actually has just a little bit too much here for the Protoss player, and is actually going to take out most of this army, and also the Colossus are falling. But of course, with the reinforcements and the defender's advantage, Grave is going to push that back. But I'd say that was a very costly engagement. He lost basically all of his sentries and also one Colossus, and those are the key units right now of the army composition of Grave. And if he no longer does have them, then he's gonna be in a world of trouble. Especially the sentries are extremely important, as without force shields, the Hydras and Roaches, they can just completely roll over you and bulldoze down everything.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this wasn't just really the best engagement. He did lose all of the sentries, and now needs to reinforce with Zealots, with High Templars, and to go for a counter. But I don't like that choice here for Grave to actually move out, as Webby is really reinforcing very fast here. So DT's trying to do some damage here as well, but oh my god, the unit's actually completely out of position. He might be losing the 4th base yet again. Oh, but now the Hydras and Roaches are coming in from the back. Also now some Vipers in the composition, so they could go for some abducts here. But nice feedbacks there by Grave, already disabling one of them. Has to be careful though not to get his very important units abducted, but Webby just says, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the counter attack and try to kind of catch you off guard. And here we go. Of course, Grave is perfectly prepared for that, but some nice abducts already abducting the Colossus, but that somehow just barely gets away. Also the other one now under a lot of fire, but with more reinforcements, I think that Webby is not going to have enough forces here to be able to break down that Protoss player just yet. Very close fight though. There is some reinforcements coming in as well, and Grave actually losing quite some units. This is a little bit unnecessary. He was in a perfect position, but he's still not trading really in his favor. He needs to be a little bit more careful about his units, and now he will be even transitioned to the fleet beacon. He's a little bit afraid of the transition to Mutilus, I believe.
You know what I would love to see? Carriers.
Oh wow, yeah, that would be awesome. But
Just
they
gonna
use
throw that out there,
Zerg's
but
advance, so-
until then, Webby of course still getting some amazing trades here with his Roach Hydro composition that pretty much unexpectedly is dealing massive amounts of damage to the army of Grave here. Now once again, we have an engagement coming our ways here. A lot of Roaches without any force field support here is engaging into that Protoss army, but right now Grave seems to have stabilized just a little bit now with some blink stocks and some charge cells, is pushing that back yet once again. Fleet Beacon just finished up right now, and what is it going to be? Where is it even? Oh, there it is.
I don't know yet. Also, some DTRS that actually did a lot of damage here to the economy. 37 workers have been killed now in total, and also almost got that base there in the bottom right side. So, Grave really being active in all this action that has been coming down here. So Grave will even take another base and will be skyrocketing in his economy if he is able to hold it.
Yeah, like right now already Grave is in a super position. 4 base against 4 base is never good for the Zerg player, but think of 5 base versus 4 base. That's not gonna end very, very well for the Zerg, but right now once again Grave is engaging towards the 4th base, excuse me, here. Of course, Webby once again not in the best position here, and also now taking the low ground here, but he's already catching some nice units here, already taking out the Ark and also the Colossus in a pretty bad position, but he definitely should not engage up that ramp. Very nice time up there, and he just cannot run up there. That would be a suicide commando.
No, Grave is still trying just to snipe that piece here. Not really the best position right now here to fight the army. Still, the Colossi being so key to this composition, he really needs to save it.
Double Colossus production right now starting for Grave, and that will be very, very important because those Colossi are keeping him alive at the moment, or at least forcing some good engagements here. But if you looked at the production tab, we saw the Ultralis cavern being built here by Webby, and that could change the style of the game if he can get out a couple of them. But of course, with his crippled economy, it's gonna be pretty tough here. Once again, engagement coming up here. Webby moving out, but already Grave is set up perfectly here, and he definitely should not overextend himself because right now Grave definitely has the better army.
Oh, he wanted to split up his army, but this wasn't really the best choice here for the Zerg player. There we go, GG being called, and